Hi guys! So it's scary story time, and I'm going to be talking about my mom's house, which I believe is incredibly haunted. And I have picture proof of things that I've seen. I have crazy stories about things that have happened there that probably nobody's going to believe me, but I believe me because obviously it happened to me. And here are a few things that I need to tell you about my mom's house. So I moved there in 2006. I was in eighth grade. We moved to Virginia from New York, and obviously it's a big difference. It's just culture shock, and I wasn't okay with moving here, and I didn't want to, and I cried on my way here. I cried my first day of school. I cried the first year I was in Virginia. But aside from all of that, one of the reasons I didn't want to move here was because of the house itself. So my mom and dad were kind of in a hurry to get out of New York just because of the whole situation going on over there with like gang violence. We lived in Brentwood in Long Island, and they wanted to get us, the kids, out of there. So we didn't really take much time to look at houses. We didn't take any time to kind of be able to choose what we wanted. It was more, we have to get out of here, and this is our first choice. And this house that we came about, it's it was gray. It was a two-story house. There were just a bunch of trees in the front yard, and all the houses around it were pretty much like the same kind of style, but that one just looked particularly eerie, and I didn't like it from the very start. So we moved into this house, and just something didn't ever feel right. To this day, they still live there, and it's just not very comfortable. The thing about the house, it's just it gives you this weird, you're always being watched kind of feeling, and it's really, really quiet and dark. I don't even know how to explain it, but it's just not, it's an unsettling feeling. So, one of the first things that happened there was when I was with my sister. So, we were kind of taken back by how dark it was outside. And I'm just looking out the window, looking at my neighbor's yard, and I saw a shadow figure thing of what looked like a little kid, and they were playing in the yard. Mind you, it's like maybe 1 or 2 in the morning. We were just up late watching TV, and I call my sister and I'm like, can you come over here and see this? Because it was creepy. It was weird. There was no other like adult figure around. It was just this child playing in the backyard of my neighbors, and I had no explanation for it. So my sister comes over to the window and she's like, yeah, I'm seeing this too. And we both got really freaked out because this kid just looked like they were just like picking things up in the yard and like running off and then coming back and then running off. And it was weird. Whatever, we told my mom about it and she was like, oh, it's probably their grandchildren. But in the 12 years that we've been there, I have never seen a child at that house. It's just a bunch of older people, and it doesn't make any sense. But anyway, we kind of just brushed that off. So it was about maybe like a year into living in this house, and my mom was downstairs and she looked at the bathroom wall. So backstory, there's this creepy bathroom inside a creepy laundry room where it seems like that's more of like the creepier side of the house. So my mom walks in and there's blood on the wall, and it's kind of like spread out weird, and she asked us like if we were okay, if we had cut ourselves somewhere, if we were hurt, and we're all like, nope. My brother and sister were just, nope, that I don't know where that came from. The next time this happens, this time it's not on the wall, like at the bottom, like near the floor. This time it's on the door towards the top. So we're just like, that's such a weird place to find fresh blood. This doesn't make any sense. My mom comes to me once again, is something going on? And nope, nothing was going on. My friend was actually over that day, and my mom asked her if she was on her period, which was pretty uncomfortable, but my friend's like, no. So then we came to the conclusion that it was probably my brother, because he had a history of cutting and, you know, mental illness, and we thought maybe there was something going on with him. So that, when we asked him, that wasn't the case. Whatever. Again, my mom cleaned it up, brushed it off. The next time this happened, it wasn't downstairs anymore. My mom woke up early in the morning, at 5 o'clock in the morning, to go to work, and she goes in her bathroom and she's brushing her teeth and she sees blood on the wall near her mirror. And she is just, it's just like every single time, it just looks like fresh blood splattered on the wall. It's not a whole lot, but it's enough to make you realize it. So it's just like, my mom is confused. She doesn't tell me for a long time because she doesn't want to scare me, and then I think it just slipped out one day, or I overheard her talking to my dad about it, and I asked her about it, and she told me, and she's like, well, it's probably nothing to worry about. It's just maybe one of us cut ourselves and didn't notice it. And that may be the case, but I just think it's weird and quite a coincidence that this is all happening, and it seems kind of like in the same manner and in the bathrooms, and it just doesn't make any sense to me. But anyway, this is by the time I had gotten to high school. It was my senior year of high school. So we had been in the house for a good 5 years now. And usually when I came home from school, I would take a nap, eat something, whatever. And I was usually home alone for a good 3 hours until my parents got home from work. Anyway, I came home from school one day and I went into my room to take a nap. I had the door open. I had this little chihuahua named Chloe, and she was downstairs and I was upstairs in my room trying to go to sleep. And I hear noises. It sounded like somebody was ripping papers up downstairs in the kitchen, and Chloe was barking, like nonstop barking, just loud, and would not let me sleep. So my first thought was, it's my dad, because my dad comes home and he gets the mail, and anything that he doesn't want, he just tears it up, and that's just routine. That's just like a noise that I'm used to, so I didn't think anything of it. But it was way too early for my dad to be home, so I figured he was just kind of checking up on me. And I went to the top of the stairs, left my room, went to the top of the stairs, and I start calling for him, and I hear no answer. And like, it seemed like it got quieter once I got to the top of the stairs, or it stopped. So the dog was still barking, mind you. So I'm just kind of like, okay, this is weird. Nobody's answering me. So I go back to my room to get my phone to call my dad and see if he's home. So I call my dad and he's at work, he says. And I'm just a little confused. I'm like, well, you know, there's somebody downstairs and they're ripping up papers, and I'm pretty sure it's you because you're the only one that does that. And he said, no, I'm at work, and I heard his coworker in the background talking, so I believed him. So what I did was I ran my little butt down the stairs, grabbed my dog, and ran to my cousin's house down the street, and stayed there for the rest of the afternoon until my mom and dad got home, because for some reason that really freaked me out, especially because it was a familiar sound, and at first I didn't think anything of it. I thought it was my dad, but it's just creepy because things that get mimicked like that, it's usually not a good thing. So another thing that happens in this house is where my mom will hear me calling for her and I'm not home. Or it's been even where I actually lived in New York for another like 2.5 years after high school, and I wasn't at home at all anymore, and my mom would still hear me talking or hear me calling for her. And I've had situations where I hear my mom or my dad calling for me while I'm home alone, and none of them are there. So it's just things like that. It seems like whatever is in this house is just mimicking sounds, and that really freaks me out. One of the last stories that I have about this house that really stands out is so this was while I was spending time in New York. So I was in New York, far away from my parents, spoke to them every now and then. My mom sends me a picture because her and dad were going out to dinner, date night, whatever. So they send me a picture, and in the picture is this laundry room that I told you guys about earlier in the video. So it's my mom standing in front of the laundry room, and she's all dressed up, and there was a face behind her, and I noticed it right away. Like, I don't know what it was, but I saw my mom, looked at the picture, looked at my mom, and then looked right behind her, and she's standing kind of in the doorway of this laundry room, and it looked like a silhouette, like side profile of a face. You can see the nose, you can see where the eyes are, you can see the mouth. It looks like it's kind of walking towards her, and I will insert that photo right here. I got really freaked out because I was like, Mom, is there anybody else in the house? She said no, there's nobody around. So scary because there is a face in that photo. And I mean, I've shown it to people. Some people don't see anything. Some people freak out when they see it and see it right away. I don't know, I can't say for sure, but this is what I'm seeing, and just from my experiences in this house, it just looks like a person, and a person should not be there at that moment. So this is a laundry room. When I would come home late at night, I would have to come in through the back door and walk by the laundry room. My parents were already in bed, and I would have to walk by this laundry room by myself late at night, and it was dark. And for some reason, I just always felt uneasy, like something's watching me, something's gonna come out of that laundry room. I would just kind of not even look in that direction and just walk on by and go upstairs to my room, because that thing always freaked me out. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and insert the picture, and then you guys tell me what it is or what it looks like to you, because I see an older woman. Other people see a child, but I see what looks like an older woman. And at the moment, when that happened, it was maybe a few months after my grandmother passed away, and to me it looked like my grandmother, and that could just be me, but it just looked like an older woman. So tell me in the comments down below what you think it is, and go ahead and follow me on Instagram. I'll put the link down below also. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll be back with more scary stories.